So, three intriguing positional battles for the 2024 season for the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, before even looking at this article, let me think off the top of my head, who are the three I would go with? Okay, so number one is wide receiver three, right? You got Trenton Irwin, you got Mike Gesicki, you have Tanner McLaughlin, who could be in that third receiver role. Jermaine Burton's probably going to be that outside type of guy. The third receiver, more the slot receiver, is not going to be Jermaine Burton. Yoshi's more of an outside guy who's not going to be that slot receiver. So I say when I say third receiver, I mean slot receiver, right? Because you got to fill in the Tyler Boyd role. Mike Gesicki last season spent 90% of the time in the slot for the Patriots. He also played a lot of slot for the Dolphins as well. So you got him, you got Trenton Irwin, you got Tanner McLaughlin, you also got Chuck Sizzle in a very long distance universe, far away. Play the Star Wars, thing. Anyway, and then you also got. That's pretty much it. So that position is going to be interesting. And how I think they're going to figure it out is just by every single player gets snaps. And you just rotate. Rotate on and on and on. And depending on the game and the game flow and how good one player is doing, that depends on who gets the snaps and get the ball. I don't think this is going to be figured out going into the season. I think this is going to be hey, listen, we have a lot of good players, a lot of mouths to feed. We're just going to rotate players left and right. And what we're going to see is, in the end, for that third receiver spot here, that each of these guys are just listed are going to be getting like 1/3, 1/4 of the snaps throughout the whole entire season. So that's number one, which is, again, it's always a good problem to have, right? Number two, I guess left guard. But again, we don't have the guy on the roster right now that would be the positional battle for left guard, right? Unless you think Jackson Kirkland, undrafted guy who really has a lot of potential. Last season we picked him up. Unless you think he's going to start, join the roster again, which he is on the roster, but he's going to make the 53-man roster and really compete with Cordell Volson, there isn't really anyone to compete with him. And trust me, I would love to sit here and say, yes, we need a Cordell Volson replacement. We need someone who's going to take over Cordell Volson. The problem is there isn't anyone on the roster who can do that right now. Matt Lee might be a potential, but that's not really a roster battle slash, position battle here. That's more of just like, hey, hopefully this guy can actually get the job done. If we sign somebody, then there would be a positional battle. And Amarius Mims is too big to play guard. He's not going to be an offensive guard. He has to be a tackle. So I wouldn't really say that. On offense in general, the tight end position, there isn't really a positional battle there. Halfback? No. It's really Chase Brown and Zach Moss and nobody else because we didn't sign anybody else. Again, this might completely change on June 1st when the cuts happen and we sign some free agents potentially. But at this moment in time, there really isn't anyone there. Defensively, the D tackle position is going to be a positional battle. That's definitely going to be huge here. And that's going to be, right now we have Zach Gunner. We obviously have Jay. We obviously have Chris Jenkins. We have Sheldon Rankins. We have BJ Hill. Right, we have a strew of defensive tackles. That's going to be a positional battle going into the season of not only who makes 53-man roster, but also who gets snaps. And, you're going to have a couple guys on the bench just in case of injuries, but getting snaps is going to be the more difficult part there. Other than that, though, linebackers, not really. There's no really position. I guess you could say position value, a position battle with defensive linemen. But I think it's pretty clear. Sam Hubbard and Trey Henderson, that's their job. And Myles Murphy, unless he just becomes LT overnight, he's going to have to sit on the bench and want to be utilized in certain situations. The thing also about Myles Murphy is we can't trust him in every situation possible. That's the problem with last season. We can't just put him out there and say, okay, Myles, you're going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because that's just, he can't do everything. So that's a potential problem there. Safety, no, you kind of have it figured out. Jordan Battle, Von Bell, Geno Stone, and Tyson Anderson. Cornerback, there isn't really a battle there. I mean, I guess you could say battle there between DJ Turner and Josh Newton, potentially. Because you know Josh Newton's going to make the roster. But the question is he going to be the number 4 corner, or could he work his way up to number 2 corner? You already have your number 3 slot corner, which is Dax Hill / Mike Hilton. But you could argue that, Josh Newton could, fight his way for the number 1 or number 2 outside receiver or outside corner with DJ Turner. Because you only know Cam Taylor-Britt's going to be the one. So let's see what they say. Because I don't really think there's too many guys here. Wide receiver 3. Okay, that's what I mentioned. Safety. Who? Geno Stone. Yeah, I mean, you pick up Geno Stone. He's going to be your starting safety no matter what. There's no question about that. Outside of him, I mean, you got on the other side Von Bell. Dax Hill moves to slot. Jordan Battle. I mean, there's no positional value there. I mean, okay, so the whole point here is Jordan Battle. I think Jordan Battle has earned his way as a starting strong safety on this team. I think Von Bell will be more or less just kind of rotation guy. And then free safety, you got Geno Stone. And Tyson Anderson has kind of a backup role to both those guys, plus special teamer. I don't really think there's any positional battle at all for safety. I think safeties were actually pretty locked down on. And it's potentially they pick up another safety. Who knows? If they really think that Tyson Anderson's going to be great on special teams like he always is, then maybe they want someone who's more or less just dedicated to just being a safety. And then offensive tackle. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's any battle there. I think it's Trent Brown's job. It's Orlando Brown's job. And Marius Smith's going to sit behind Trent Brown and learn from him and Orlando Brown. I think it's kind of more or less just a, hey, listen, we have a blessing here that we can have a guy sit on the bench and wait for a year, develop, get better, really start to learn the system of the Bengals and the NFL. I mean, it's not easy to transition from college to the NFL. And he can sit behind, some of the best in the game here and learn how to get the job done. Again, unless injuries happen, I don't think that there will be any situation where Marius Mims even gets a starting chance. He might get starting reps in, preseason, which, yeah, of course, the preseason. Also OTAs, also rookie minicamp. I see rookie minicamp's already over. OTAs and training camp. But he's not going to see it in the season in any way possible, in my opinion. So I disagree with this article. I don't think safety is a positional battle at all. I don't think tackle is a positional battle at all. And wide receiver 3 is. So I say 1 out of 3 I agree with. But tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one.